he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. It's a pickup of 4 and a... Will bring up second down.
All right, here we go. 319! 319! Back 99 Philly, here we go!
Here's Rudolph now on second down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. Didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, let's just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. A great effort there. 15 yards. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Fairbairn now to add the extra point. Fairbairn good with the extra point. And the lead now stands at 13. So that one will be accepted. Sanders now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. They'll fake the handoff. Now Rudolph. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And they take over. They'll set up shop at the 46-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
And they'll go on the ground. And an alley to run. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Here we go. 9-8.
First down, Prescott. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll go down at the... ...28. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And they'll run it here. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter begins with the Vikings holding the football. But they've got a 3rd and inches coming up, trying to keep the chains moving. It's a keeper with Prescott. And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. Only a yard there on the keeper, but that's all he needed. First down.
I don't know about you, but I like this call. 3rd and inches, and instead of worrying about getting it back to a running back and maybe there's some penetration from the defensive front, just go ahead and take it, move forward, and pick up the first down.
And as we say often, it shows confidence in your offensive line. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down. A 2nd down throw for Prescott. A dump underneath to Jones. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd down.
But it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. This will be caught at about the 5. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
Got a moot point there as they were able to connect, and he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Here we go, 46.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Sanders now to kick this one away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Rudolph. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 49. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Two minutes to go here in the first half. More from Minneapolis after this.
Let's go, get that. Let's go, get out, get out. Let's go, let's finish now.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. This one caught over the middle by Burnett. And he's going to get this inside the 30.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Prescott going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 8 for 8 now, throwing the ball to start the game. Play action now, Prescott. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he'll head out of bounds inside the 10. Mark him down at the 9. A good pick up there of 20 yards. The 3 red zone trips, 3 touchdowns so far. They'll look for a 4th on 2nd and goal. Now a handoff looking right. And he's able to find some room as they get him down after a good run. Call it a gain of 9 there, and it puts him in better shape here for 2nd and goal.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, got to like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
He'll get it up the middle. Now he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Oh, and you just can't do that. 15 yards on the roughing the kicker call.
Absolutely inexcusable. The kicker's in a defenseless position, and he just gets taken out.
Sanders now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Lion offense now as they get ready to take over. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Even with the nice move, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, they did throw interceptions on their last 2 drives, so no surprise at all they decided to start it with a running play. I'm actually a little bit surprised, though, that they got as much out of it as they did.
Yeah, decent little gain. Puts them in a pretty good spot for 2nd down. He's going to... And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 26. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge, getting to the quarterback. But he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has. Able to put
blitz coming, and down he goes. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Now a timeout coming here defensively, as on 4th down, may as well make him punt it. Now the Lions, they send out the field goal unit here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the 2nd half. Short
kick. Well, the up middle take it down. And solid field position here to start as they get it out to the 40-yard line. And the Vikings now heading on to the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it? And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out. Going for the deep ball. And that is incomplete. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the 2nd half. This will be fielded at the 6. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. An update from that game going on in the Meadowlands. The Jets out to the early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Rudolph. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Leopard! Leopard! All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90!
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Rudolph throwing on 2nd down. And Davis with it left side. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. Here comes a 1st down throw for Rudolph. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Here's Rudolph. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Here we go. 319. 319. Gone.
3rd and long. It's Rudolph. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this 3rd quarter as he'll go for it on 4th down.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Shotgun snap for Rudolph. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 13. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he'll push his way forward to about the 32. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8. Prescott from the gun. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage. And
using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It was the linebacker Leonard Floyd on the stop. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain. Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. The Vikings on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 5. Throwing, Prescott. And he's going to drop this off to his fullback. And, he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
And they'll go on the ground. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
And they'll run it here. Oh, now he bowls him over. And a good run as he manages 7 yards down to the 17.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
On 3rd down, that's Lane. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. He needed a yard, that's what he got, and it's going to earn him a new set of downs. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Prescott. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. as his guys are in for 6. And this Viking offense is running away with this one. Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. Sanders now to kick this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Here we go.
On 2nd down, here's Rudolph. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
Leopard! Gun!
Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
4th down, desperation time for Rudolph. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
So it was 4th down. They complete the short pass, and then boom, off to the races all the way to pay dirt.
And so many times in short yardage situations or on downs like this on 4th down, the defense gets a little more aggressive. So if you're able to pop it, right, complete a pass like that, it can break big afterwards, and that's exactly what we saw there. Short pass, long run.
And now out comes Minnesota. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
No, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out.
And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. And now defensively they're going to burn their first time out. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Now Prescott. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. After the interception, here's Rudolph. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And he's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. A big play there. Already second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And thanks to the interception, the Lions offense cashes in with 6. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And that will shave one more off this lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. And now out comes Minnesota. They have the big lead here late. They protected their home turf well, didn't they?
They certainly did, partner. And just think about how good that feels, because every team has a goal when they start the year to win at home. All right, and sometimes you don't win all of them, but they managed to get that done today. Just think about your routine stays the same. Everything's familiar. You feel right going into the game, and they translated that into a win.
They did indeed. They protected the home field, and now the final stages. And on the ground they go with a running back. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense, as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
Came up about a yard short, but I can't help it, Brandon. I love it when the big guy gets the football and he tries to battle his way forward. There's something about those guys carrying the ball and watching people trying to stop them. That's just great theater.
And now before they run this play on 4th and 1, we're going to get a break and a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
Here we go. Wide, ain't it?
Prescott. And it is incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Lions will get the football back in terrific field position. The Lions offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Here's Rudolph off play action. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now they got to get to the line quickly.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And they'll be in.